What's up guys, it's your boy the BFA Games here, and we've got another video for your career mode ideas. And as you can tell, we're getting closer. Well, still quite a few more months left, but we're getting to the end of all the seasons, all the major seasons in Europe, and I still want to give you guys good career mode ideas to make it fresh and unique. And thank goodness they've added the live start points feature in this year's FIFA. Yes, that was still fun even towards the start of the year when you can skip past the January transfer window. But hey, now we're at the end of the seasons. This is taking it to another level. You can literally turn the face of time and change different outcomes towards the year, so you can continue the season we just finished in a different way. Here are a few great clubs and suggestions to mention for your mini career modes that you can use. Alright, so the first one I came up with is Italy's Inter Milan. So as you can tell, starting from say the 13th of May, you can see that they're only 1 point behind Napoli with 77 points. You can make sure they get the job done by winning the title, and also you got a chance to win the Champions League against PSG. Also, if you want them to win the treble as well, you can also go back about a month, so you could try to win the Coppa Italia as well in order to win the treble. So for you Inter fans, you've only got Lazio at home and then Como away. Two winnable games for a team as good as Inter, so it's pretty frustrating why you kind of bottled the title, to be honest. And then you've got a difficult game against PSG. Hopefully you won't lose 5-0 this time. But yeah, if you're an Inter fan mourning for the time that you bottled all these trophies, here's a time to resurrect yourselves. Alright, the next team I've picked is Rams. They've got two extremely important fixtures. So they're in the promotion playoff final against FC Metz. So obviously you win, you stay in the league. And then you have the much more difficult fixture between PSG for the Coupe de France final. So you have a chance to win a trophy being this small side. So when checking the squad, majority of your starting 11's there, but you've got a few key players. Fofana is out. Not sure if he's a starter or a bench. And then Deacon is out. And then Demrabi, he looks like a very important player. He will be out, so you have to bear that in mind. And also attacking midfielder Kadifa as well. Alright, so the next idea I've come up with is, why not try and be one of the teams that are outside of the top 6 that almost got Champions League football. So I'm talking about the likes of Aston Villa, Newcastle United, and even Nottingham Forest. All during this time were well within the chance of getting top 4 during this time. I would argue that Aston Villa have the most difficult fixtures because you're at home against Spurs and you're at home against Manchester United, and I think they lost both of those fixtures in real life. As for looking at the squad, you still got majority of it there. Ramsey's not available, he's red carded, and Tielemans has just got back from injury. And that's a big blow as Marcus Rashford was also getting back from injury, so you might be able to play him in the last game. And I would say you had the easiest chance with Newcastle United, considering how they're the best team out of the 3. And also you've only got, you got Arsenal, of course, which are difficult, but then you got Everton. I'd say that was the turning point which determined them not finishing top 4. You should beat Everton. But then yet again, you've got a lot of injuries, but they're not to like first team players like likes of Hall and Target. So really you're really lacking a left back at this moment in time, and even Trippier too as well. So you have to be creative in who to put at left back. As for Nottingham Forest, I would say this is the most difficult because they're the weakest side and no one expected them to reach this level in the league at the start of the season. So obviously your fixtures are against Newcastle United, which is a bit beatable, but then Chelsea will be very difficult. But it's still possible, even though I think you got the lowest between the 3 teams at around May the 12th. So yeah, that'll be the most difficult challenge between all of them. In terms of squads, you've only got one injury, which is Callum Hudson-Odoi, who's out. But then you can easily put Sosa for him to fill in. So that shouldn't be too much of a big deal to write home about. And your squad is pretty small, so you can't afford to get any more injuries. But there's only 2 fixtures, so you shouldn't be too worried about that. And then the final idea I came up with was the playoffs. So obviously they're between Sheffield United, Sunderland, Coventry and Bristol City. Why not be Coventry or Sheffield United or Bristol City? I don't want to be Sunderland because they're the team that got promoted at the end. Why not change the face of time by trying to get those teams promoted instead? This is a shout out to all you fans that missed out on promotion, which is a huge heartache. Very, very frustrating situation to be in. So why not change reality and get your teams into the Premier League for next season instead of Sunderland? Alright, this brings us to the end of the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you've got any other scenarios that you could come up with, why not mention it into the comments? And also, for any of you guys that took part in any of these challenges, let me know how it went, and I look forward to seeing you guys in another video. Alright, peace out.